Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with you with another video that I didn't really want to do, but I thought why the hell not. So as you know, the internet is a dark place that stores all our previous mistakes and anything that happened that shouldn't have never surfaced. So it happens, I run a photo blog since the start of my photography. It was the very beginnings when I literally was just starting out. I have everything documented in beautiful HD, and today I thought I would make a video about reacting to my old work. I'm not really sure I want to do it. I had some previews here because I was preloading this stuff, and I have to say I'm deeply shocked. So yeah, I'm going to show you a few of some of my latest work that I've done. I think it's like 2009 when I was kind of getting into photography, experimenting with certain things, you know, like taking photos. I thought that I was the shit. Let me tell you, I was not. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to show you a few photos and react to them myself because I haven't seen them in so long. I'm going to start with one of my favorite shoots that I've done, especially at the beginning. It was a photo of my best friend that we did on the field. I was really into my sunsets and flares and all this kind of stuff. I was really into nude as well for some reason. Don't ask me why, I don't know. I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with a good nude, but my ones just weren't very good. But yeah, I guess it was this whole fascination of a mix of things. When I started Photoblog, it was a very kind of heavily portrait-based website, so that was the kind of majority of my inspirations. So then we move on to this photo, and as far as I know, it was the first time I got a permission to shoot in a shopping center, and I was very proud of that. I don't know why, because it's a very peculiar location to be shooting in, but at the time I really thought that I was, you know, that it was amazing, that it was like the best location ever. I got my friend, who's in the photo here, and another girl with another photographer, and the photographer was a bit of a douche, but that's another story. So yeah, anyway, I would have taken quite a lot of self-portraits, which is kind of interesting because I don't take any photos of myself nowadays. I had a big fringe and like heavy makeup, and I liked to tan a lot and so on. It was a very weird time of my life. So I shot a lot with my friend. She was modeling for me. It was a very interesting time. It really allowed me to learn, you know, from shooting with her, and like, you know, I would shoot a lot of those kind of portrait photos and so on. I tried fashion. As you can see, I wasn't very good at it. I loved my filters. I was very heavy with them, so nothing to be too proud of. I actually won an award that year. Oh, it was a photographic project national winner 2010. I have no idea who the other people were, but they must have been pretty bad if I won, because I was pretty bad. Yeah, so as you see, I loved my makeup, I loved my colors, I loved everything to be OTT, and I'm not lying, this is really bad. This is really bad. My retouching was really freaking bad. This was one of the first shoots that I was kind of proud of. She was a model, I don't remember from where, but she was quite short, but she had a really beautiful face, and she was kind of like the first kind of introduction for me with like kind of proper modeling. I did nude shoots, so some more nude stuff. As I said, I was really into it. Fields, nude stuff, and lens flare. That was basically me in 2011. Hard to believe, right? Okay, so another big thing that I loved was Halloween. I really loved shooting Halloween stuff from the very early ages. This is the shoot that I did with my friend again, because as I said, a lot of the time I did shoot with her, and this was kind of like the first kind of experiment I had with like different styles and stuff. It was really cool to organize and stuff and kind of play with different lighting and so on. So then I did some experimental shoots with like masks and fog and stuff, and that was like kind of first introduction I had with some sort of models. I think this girl was an agency model, so we shot some stuff together. I was really into filters as well, as you can see, a rainbow filter, because it's a great look, you know. At the time I was wondering why do people reject me so much, because when you look at your own work you're very critical, but I think at the same time you are kind of, it's the best you can produce, so you just assume that it's good. And looking at it now, I can totally get why people rejected me all the time, because it's just not great. This is one of the first shoots that I organized with another photographer as well. It was quite a big team. Again, as you see, hair and makeup really OTT, really over the top with the crimping and the styling and everything. I loved my bokeh. That's one thing. It's only recently that I started walking away from bokeh, but for years and years I really loved my bokeh. Again, I was very creative with my shots. I did some serious, you know, self-portraits. This is one of my favorite self-portraits. I was actually holding my own hand underneath the hair, so I just went like this. But I thought it was a really cool idea. I did really enjoy shooting self-portraits, I have to say. This was the very first shoot that I ever did in Dublin. That was in 2011, so it was still before I moved there. As you see, the makeup is absolutely horrendous. I probably requested makeup like this, but it was so much and it was so over the top, and if I could go back, you know, 5-10 years, I would be like, listen, just skip the makeup, skip the hair, just shoot natural stuff. But you know, like, I think at the beginning I just wanted to be like really big dresses and big hair and big makeup and all this kind of stuff. That's why I keep telling you guys to skip that kind of stuff, because if I could have probably gotten much better portfolio images straight away. But anyway, this is what I was doing. As you see, I was kind of, you know, experimenting a lot. I was playing around. This is one of my favorite shoots that I did in Cork. So this is kind of, again, slightly portrait kind of shoots, but a bit more kind of creative and a bit better than the previous work from that year, let's say. Now, there's one thing that I want to show, and I hope that person won't mind. So basically, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tara Marr. She's a fashion blogger. She is originally from Cork, where I originally moved in, and we decided to do a shoot once years ago. So this is basically what the photos were. Again, they were very dramatic. We went to this like asylum or mental asylum that was like closed down years, and basically we took photos. Again, it was like very sad, very dramatic. Tar had very long hair. She was like crying looking. We had to like, you know, we were like breaking and entering. It was mad. And then we were taking those photos in like an abandoned church. It was really freaking creepy, but I did love the photos, and I think they were just like really cool. Again, I thought that I was the shit when it comes to fashion photography. Now, obviously, I kind of see that it wasn't fashion photography at all, because fashion is more about the clothes rather than the model or anything else, but at the time I wasn't really aware of that. So here's another really cool shoot that I did for Halloween. This is like one of my favorite photos. So Emilia did makeup for this. She actually works a lot with Irene Rudnick. So that was the time before she moved to Calgary, and she was working a lot with my husband, and then she did this shoot with me, and it was like a Halloween inspired shoot, and I loved it so much. We went to a graveyard and we took all those like creepy photos, and like the makeup was just so good and the model was so good, and it was just such a cool collaboration. It was like one of my favorite collaborations to ever do. So I was basically taking photos of my friends. Here's one of the kind of cool shoots. I kind of like it, you know. It was lingerie and we were playing with the lights. I probably had like a D300S at this stage, because I started with a D60 Nikon. So this was kind of like a real cool kind of little production that we used, like, you know, like in low light and so on. So like obviously I was very limited with my equipment, but at the time I didn't really mind. Actually, this was my very first studio shot, and it was pretty bad. And you know, it's not about the model looks great, but the styling, the hair, the makeup, my lighting was absolutely horrendous. I had no idea what to do in the studio. I was really bad at it. I didn't know how to light stuff properly, as you can probably see in the photo. So yeah, so it just wasn't great. It took me so long to get into studio, and it's just such a long process for me. Then I did my first ever Burton shoot. It was Tim Burton inspired shoot that I've done with my stylist Carmel. This was one of our first collaborations ever. So this is the photos. We had this headpiece designer, and I have to say those are one of the photos that I'm still really proud of, and I think they're really cool. So yeah, this is when my work kind of started getting a bit better. And then we kind of skip a good bit, and I started doing more tests, and I kind of, you know, put a bit less hair and makeup on girls, and I started going a bit more natural. I started getting more into model tests. So as you see, I was kind of getting a bit more editorial. I was still about the blurry background, but I was getting a bit better. Still not great, but it was getting a bit better. As you see, I went quite a long way as a photographer, working on these images. You know, I started in 2010. My first job was in 2013, so it's really been around 7 years that I've been doing it now, and it's only now that I kind of feel like I'm getting somewhere where I want to be in the future. So it is a very long process. It was a very frustrating process. As you see, I was very OTT with hair, makeup, styling, everything like that. It was very, very over the top. And if there was one thing I could say to myself, is to come the fuck down with everything and just do super pared back shoots, super minimal, you know, just concentrate on the natural beauty of the model, and, you know, rather than trying to organize this crazy productions and so on. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed me embarrassing myself on the internet once again. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.